Hi, welcome everybody, it's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy. A little bit of a different video here for you today. And we're going to look into a little bit more depth in the new TaylorMade M3 driver. And really just going to talk in this video, not really hit any shots here, but talk more about the technology in the head. Obviously there's TwistFace, which is new technology, which is creating a bit of a buzz out there, and also at the same time a little bit of a stir in as to it's just a marketing thing here. So I'm maybe going to talk a little bit more in depth about TwistFace, and about the whole story of the M3 driver, and possibly how the importance of all the technology in there through a fitting process, to obviously get this dialed in to suit your delivery and club head. So spend a little bit of time with the TaylorMade fitting guys. This is not so much the tech guys, but more the fitting guys on the new product and how they will go through a fitting process with their club golfers that see on a daily basis around the country throughout the year during their fitting events. And it was a great presentation that one of the head fitters presented to us the other day, and it was really interesting because I was expecting to go to this event. It was all going to be about TwistFace, and obviously this is where TaylorMade's marketing is very much driven around TwistFace, but to be honest, and I was quite surprised, TwistFace was only a small part of it. And that's maybe why I wanted to do this video, just to sort of highlight the other aspects they've done in the head that makes it different from M1 of last year. And it's not just all about TwistFace. So talk a little bit about what's going on in the head. So now we've got a little bit more carbon on the top of the head here. It's actually gone lighter. So this is all about saving weight. And you'll see this theme running through the whole head here. So carbon, it's got thinner. Okay, so they've saved some weight, and instead of just chucking that weight away, they sort of put it to one side and just keep that weight saving. Okay, then what they've done is they made a bit more carbon in the sole of the club. Again, a little bit more weight saved. They've kept that to one side. And then also what they've done, the actual screw that you screw the shaft into the head, that is, I think from memory, is 2 to 3 grams lighter. Doesn't sound a lot, but again, it's a weight saving. That weight's gone to one side. The neck adapter that's on the shaft is now smaller and a little bit lighter. So again, they've saved some weight there, that's gone to one side. So all this little weight savings that they've done, they've then been able to reposition this around the club head to, again, help on forgiveness and help on that MOI. Now they're claiming that the M3 is as forgiving as the original M2 driver. Now, probably what you'll agree is the original M2 was a fantastic driver. You know, the sales on that were unbelievable, a lot on tour using it. The M1 wasn't as popular, the original M1 wasn't as popular. M2 was a fantastic driver. So they're saying that the M3 now is equivalent forgiveness to that M2 there. So that's quite a really interesting fact there. And they're predicting probably more sales with M3 now than they saw with M1 from last year because of that reason. Now also we've got hammerhead technology in here, which is that front section here, which again is helping with keeping ball speed up across the club face on your miss hits, which we see that theme across all brands currently going at the moment. And obviously they've changed the track system on the bottom there. So from that original T track with last year's M1, they've now got into what they call a Y track. And this makes a bit of sense to me here. So hammerhead sort of replaces that front track in a way. Obviously got the supporting bars there, which again is putting energy back into the club face for ball speed. But with a Y track here now, you could actually split the weights into the far sort of sections of that Y track there, which again will really help on MOI and forgiveness. And I think that'll be a really popular sort of setting for a lot of golfers there who maybe can have that low spin number there, but they need that little bit of stability, that little bit more forgiveness. Then that'll be a really popular option. Now just going back to that carbon crown here, what they've done slightly here, it's a bit hard to see, but they've actually just lifted it above that silver section and a bit more so in that toe section. So it just sits slightly higher than that front silver section. So that slightly higher crown is going to help with a little bit of airflow over the club head here to create a little bit more club head speed. Again, it's very, very minimal, but that is there just to increase a little bit more club head speed, aerodynamics of the club coming into the ball and obviously through impact. Okay, now coming to the big topic from TaylorMade is TwistFace. Now, you know, I've seen a lot of comments online, a lot of just comments down here at the Academy about TwistFace. It's a gimmick, it doesn't work. You know, that's going to solve all my problems? It's not. You know, you've got to look at this realistically. And obviously listen to these demo day guys, these TaylorMade demo day guys at the training sessions was, You know, we're talking like, they call it high toe, low heel, but realistically it's just slightly high toe, slightly low heel. Okay, so obviously that toe is bent back, so it adds loft. It's 0.75 degrees more loft in that slight high toe section than the center. So that little bit more loft, and it also points 0.75 of a degree more to the right, just helps to reduce that gearing effect that you would generally sort of see from that slight toe strike. Now, this is where I need to clear this up. Now, if you're hitting it off this part of the golf club, the TwistFace isn't going to help you. Nothing's going to help you. That's just a bad swing, bad strike. That is all down to you. There's no technology out there that is going to help that particular strike. And vice versa, if we hit it slightly low heel, again, it's 0.75 more pointing left and 0.75 less loft. So that heel is pulled back. So for the shots that would generally hit in the traditional roll and bulge head, hit the heel, you'll get that ball that would start a touch left and then really cut off to the right of target. This now is pointing more left, so it starts the ball a little bit more left and reduces that curvature and keeps the spin off that golf ball. So hopefully those shots are going to be a little bit more longer hitting and not as much curvature. So ultimately these slight high toe, slight low heel is going to keep your shot straighter. But again, if you're hitting it down this bottom part here, TwistFace isn't going to help you. Looking at TwistFace, there is, I haven't actually got one here, but there is an example of it which is like a blown up version of a club head that's really sort of exaggerating the look of it. Now, the club doesn't look at that. If you've not had a chance to look at one here, what I would say is you present this down by the ball, it's very, very minimal what you can see in terms of that TwistFace. Probably if anything, you can just see a little bit more in that toe section. But again, it's hardly, and it's nothing that really stands out and jumps out at you. So definitely nothing that would put you off, I don't think, look-wise from what you've seen in M1 and obviously M2 of last year. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the weight settings on the bottom. Now, there's obviously so many different places you can present these weights here to obviously move that CG to try and really dial in that launch and spin that you're trying to achieve to get optimized. So talking about the back track on the club here, so you can see these two weights are sort of right in the back section of that Y track. That is obviously setting and to try and promote a slightly higher launch, slightly higher spin number, but ultimately a more forgiving option. So that's, as we know, maybe other game improvement drivers, the more we pull that CG back in the head, the less twisting you're going to get on off-center hit. So if you're trying to get launch up, you're trying to get spin up a little bit, maybe have something that's a touch more forgiving. Obviously we've got TwistFace to help you, but that is the last part of it. Then the weights at the back will make a big difference. Now obviously moving those weights forward in the head, so if we took those weights and position them both in that front section of that club head, that's then going to push CG close to the club face, slightly lower launch, slightly lower spin, but you're going to sacrifice a little bit of forgiveness. So your strike pattern needs to be pretty good to have that in that setting. So going back to this presentation and of all that sort of technology we talked about, the weight saving, the sort of sole of the club, the crown, the thinner carbon, the crown that's slightly lifted to help aerodynamics. We're talking about forgiveness of the driver, similar to the original M2 driver here, hammerhead technology, TwistFace. There's a lot going on. But what I'm going to say is there's a lot of settings. Okay, so through a fitting process here, very big factors is length of shaft. Okay, that is key. Again, you've got technology in the head, length of shaft is going to make a big difference on strike. So if somebody's coming in and is striking it all over the place, TwistFace, it is going to help a tiny bit, but it's not going to help massively. Length of shaft will help much more than what TwistFace is going to do. Okay. Then you're going to look at obviously dialing the right loft. Obviously different loft options you've got here. So loft is really going to affect launch massively and also spin. And then you're going to have obviously the neck sleeve on the shaft here, which dialing that in is going to alter again loft and also face angle. So in terms of trying to get the ball to start on a certain direction to create a certain shape or to try and reduce a certain shot pattern, then the neck sleeve will help massively in there. Again, not that much with TwistFace, but more with the neck sleeve. Okay. Obviously then you've got the weights in the bottom, so again, position the weights and CG is really dialing in and fine tuning that spin number and maybe that little bit of launch characteristics there to help again with your individual delivery. And then last of all is TwistFace. Okay, so once all that is dialed in through a fitting session, you've got the shaft, you've got the neck setting, you've got the loft sorted, you've got the weight system sorted, then the bonus at the end is if you hit it slightly low heel, hit it slightly high toe, TwistFace is going to help you. Okay, and that is what these fitting guys were sort of going through. And I thought it was a really interesting spin because all you're going to see online, on TV, is all about TwistFace because it's their new technology. So they're going to shout about it. You know, every brand's like that. They're going to get to the top of the rooftops and shout about it. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. We may have to do some more testing on that. I'm obviously going to do some more in-depth reviews with M3 M4. Coming very soon, but you know, at the end of the day, that is what they're saying is a bonus at the end of that scale. But all the other factors that you saw in M1, you saw in M2, mainly M1 really, obviously it's moved on massively from there. It's a very different driver, M3 to M1, a lot more settings, got to go through that process, and then TwistFace is the bonus at the end of that process. Okay. Hopefully that's maybe just cleared things up a little bit for you guys about TwistFace. You know, very important, but it's not everything in terms of the M3 drive and obviously the M4 with not quite as much adjustability there. Okay, so again, you comment down below, let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts about TwistFace. You know, just hopefully that makes a little bit of sense as to what TaylorMade are doing. You know, I think there's a lot going on there. It's very difficult for them to talk about all of that through advertising, through you know, online marketing. Obviously TwistFace is new, they're going to shout about it, you know, why wouldn't they? But it looks a fantastic driver. I've no doubt it'll perform great as they all do, but again, more reviews coming your way regarding that performance. Okay, thanks so much for watching guys, do appreciate watching the videos. Hopefully that's cleared a few things up with TwistFace and what TaylorMade are doing this year. I say comment down below, follow on social media platforms, all the description and the links below, and obviously hit the subscribe button, very much appreciated, and we'll catch up with you all very soon.